When you think of a library, what comes to mind? For most of us, it's probably quiet aisles, maybe the smell of old paper. But today, we're going to explore this incredible high-tech revolution that's happening right behind those familiar shelves.
Yeah, it's a comforting thought, isn't it? You can almost hear the gentle rustle of pages turning. It feels timeless, unchanging.
But, behind that quiet facade, something truly revolutionary is going on. The very definition of what a library is and what it can do is being completely rewritten.
I mean, just imagine this for a second. What if, while you're asleep, robots were silently gliding through the library aisles, scanning and organizing thousands of books with near-perfect accuracy? Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right?
Well, it's not science fiction anymore. It's really happening in libraries today, and it's all powered by artificial intelligence. So let's dive in and see exactly how AI is writing this next chapter for our libraries.
All right, first up, let's talk about how AI is making its grand entrance. We're not just talking about adding a few new computers here. This is a fundamental shift, turning libraries from these static places that just store books into living, breathing, intelligent hubs for information.
And this isn't just some fun, optional upgrade. For libraries to actually keep up with the massive amount of information we have now, both digital and physical, adopting AI is becoming a genuine necessity. It's a strategic move they have to make to serve their communities better.
So, where are we actually seeing AI in action? Well, the applications are incredibly broad. We're talking about everything from automated cataloging, which saves librarians just a ton of time, to smart recommendation systems that are kind of like having a personal book concierge. But the one I want to zero in on for a second is this one right here, content recognition. Because to really get how the robots work, we first have to understand how the AI sees.
So let's zoom in on the technology that makes all of this possible. We're going to go under the hood for a minute and look at a branch of AI called computer vision. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's about giving computers the ability to see and understand the world around them.
So here's the simple definition. Computer vision is all about training machines to process visual stuff, photos and videos, and then pull out meaningful information from them, almost like our own brains do. And this is where that abstract tech becomes super practical for a library. When an AI does something called object detection, it can automatically find and tag, say, a vintage car in an old photograph. Face recognition can identify historical figures in archival footage, which adds this incredibly rich layer of data. This is literally how our digital archives get smarter.
Okay, now this might look like a total jumble of code, and that is perfectly okay. This is a real snippet of code that gives the instructions for a task, like finding a face. But all of this complexity really boils down to a very, very simple idea.
It's basically just telling the computer, hey, look at this image, find anything that looks like a face, and once you do, draw a little box around it. That's it. That's the magic of computer vision in a nutshell.
Okay, so now that we have an idea of how the AI sees, let's zoom back out and look at the amazing tools this technology is powering. We're talking about real robots and chatbots that are already out there right now, making a huge difference in libraries all over the world. And this table just perfectly illustrates the difference. Doing inventory by hand in a big library can take weeks. It's slow, people make mistakes, and it can be really disruptive. A robot, on the other hand, can do the entire job overnight with incredible accuracy and without ever getting in a single person's way. The jump in efficiency is just staggering.
And if you want a number that'll really make your jaw drop, here it is. A robot named Tori, which was tested at the Max Planck Institute, can scan 35,000 books in 1 hour. A single hour. Think about that. A task that would take a whole team of people months to do, done in 60 minutes.
And Tori isn't alone. Let's meet some of the other AI assistants on the job. You've got Busy, a chatbot in Oklahoma that answers student questions 24/7. We just talked about Tori, the super fast inventory bot. And then there's ROS in Singapore, a robot that just roams the aisles finding misplaced books with, get this, 99.5% accuracy. These aren't just concepts. They're basically the new staff members.
But of course, with any powerful new technology, you have to balance the progress with a healthy dose of precaution. It's not all perfectly organized books and helpful chatbots. There are some really significant challenges and risks that we absolutely have to talk about.
This chart gives us a pretty good overview of the main hurdles. The high cost is an obvious one, right? Especially for smaller libraries. Then you've got the tricky issue of algorithmic bias, making sure the AI is actually fair and isn't just amplifying old prejudices from its training data.
And then, of course, the big ones, data privacy and what this all means for the future of human jobs. And this right here points to a fundamental conflict. See, AI systems get smarter by learning from our data, what we search for, what we check out. But one of the most sacred promises a library makes is to protect our privacy and our freedom to explore ideas without being watched. So that creates this direct tension that has to be managed really, really carefully.
So where does all this leave the human librarian? Well, that brings us to our final and, I think, most important section. The best way to think about the future isn't human versus machine, it's human plus machine.
The goal here is not replacement, it is enhancement. The source material uses this fantastic metaphor, the librarian as an AI co-pilot. The AI handles all the routine navigation, which frees up the human pilot to focus on the really complex, critical parts of the journey.
And this slide shows you what that looks like in practice. Step 1, AI automates all the boring, repetitive stuff. Step 2, this frees up librarians to focus on the high-value human work, helping someone with really deep research or running a workshop. And then Step 3, and this is crucial, they become our guides, teaching all of us how to use these powerful new AI tools critically and ethically.
Because ultimately, this points to a brand new, vital role for libraries, to become the community centers for AI literacy. They're in the perfect position to help educate the public and make sure everyone has the skills to navigate this new world, not just a handful of tech experts.
And that really leaves us with this final thought to chew on. AI is becoming this incredible engine for giving us answers to almost anything. But maybe the most important human skill of all will be the one that AI can't replicate, the wisdom, the creativity, and the critical thinking it takes to ask the right questions in the first place. And that's a role that libraries and librarians are uniquely qualified to fill.